Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Abide in your pure silence. Stay in this silence all the time. Recognize this silence. Pay attention to this silence, which is beyond all thoughts, beyond emotions, feelings, beyond ego. Silence is the witness of everything unfolding in front of us. Silence is us. Silence is pure energy, which also gives energy to the body-mind complex. But apart from that, it is not involved. We are that uninvolved awareness. It is like you borrow money from the bank to do a business. You can do a fraud business or a good business. In both cases, bank has no responsibility for your actions. It is only providing you the money. Same is us. We are pure energy. We are not doing any action. We are not involved in any type of action. All actions are through body-mind. But if you think you are body-mind, yes, then you are responsible for all actions. And you have to pay the results of all types of actions. But if you know you are pure awareness, and you abide in pure awareness, then you are uninvolved. Choice is yours. Behave like a body-mind complex, which in itself is transitory, impermanent, and will dissolve soon. Or you want to know the truth that you are eternal, you are uninvolved, you are always the same. It is not a teaching of a book. It is the experience of the one who is in self, who is always the same in self. And he knows the body-mind only takes energy from me, the self. And this self is pure awareness, only a witness to whatever is unfolding in front of us. He has come out of the samsara, the word of creation. He does not take any credit or any discredit, as now he knows he was never part of the images. He was always the screen. It was the case of mistaken identity. It was a mind trap. Things are just happening on their own accord. Be the observer, but be the pure observer, the one who is accepting whatever is happening. The one who is in choiceless awareness, finding no faults in anyone. Self-realization is the restful state for the mind. As you have given up all desires, all planning, all attachments, all wants, all likes and dislikes, what else the mind does? If you are uninvolved, mind will turn into restful state. How many times mind can ask you, entice you for objects and people? Finally it will give up, because there is no one in the room, there is no one in this house whom the mind will talk. To the ego, to the person, individual, that person, that ego, that individual has disappeared, has vanished. How? In the power of observation, the fire of awareness. When I was a kid, I heard this story that if you see a ghost and you are scared, have some light around, like a torch or a candle or a flame. The ghost cannot stand light. This story I realized only after knowing the self. The light of the self, the pure awareness, takes away the darkness in which this ghost called ego can prosper, can get bigger and bigger like a monster, can be devil to an extent to kill others, to abuse others, to create all wrong thoughts, to create disharmony in this world. It's only possible in the darkness, in ignorance. When you have the fire of awareness, it burns away whatever is untrue. It makes the ego disappear. This light of knowledge is more than enough to finish the ego. Until it will happen, you cannot be happy eternally. Who is taking away your happiness? The ghost within, called as ego. And how to reclaim your happiness? To finish this ego by the light of knowledge. How to gain this knowledge? Know that you are the pure self. You are pure awareness. Be the witness to all the things happening around you. Surrender your ego completely to the self. It should be a complete surrender, without any ifs or buts, without any 2-cent suggestions of any sort. Let it be, whatever it is. And after all, who cares what happens in a dream? Let it go. And what you are let it go is actually fake. When you play a game, and in that game you are losing money, you know it is a game. You don't worry about. To know the eternal, you have to leave the impermanent, transitory. And it's not a bad bargain. The transitory is leaving you all the time. The moment this body was born, it is moving towards death. What we call as birthdays is actually death day, closer to the death day. More we are getting older and older, this body is getting older. It is a day of remembrance that we are going to disappear soon. And people celebrate it. They have cake and wine and they celebrate as if they have achieved something. Rather than a birthday, it's a shame day. What we have done. We are dreaming for last 30, 50, 70, 80 years. We are in illusion for that long. '50th birthday means 50 years of ignorance, 50 years of slumber, illusion, 50 years of growing our ego into a monster. What is good about it? Our real birthday is when this ego disappears and we are reborn. This is eternal rebirth. There is no death after this. Be that. You are not this body. You are none of the thoughts. You are not the intellect, emotions, or feelings. You are not the ego. You are pure awareness, watching the show but uninvolved, always contented, and so is always in bliss. Perfect silence can only be achieved when you stop giving work to the mind. Perfect silence and no movement in this silence. Stand still. Complete emptiness. And this emptiness is filled with bliss, eternal bliss. You can call it happiness, but the happiness what we call into day-to-day language is opposite to sorrow. And the happiness what you call in usual terms is bubbling joy sort of thing. It is more calmness. Happiness not with anxiety, not a hypomanic state. Yes, sometimes there can be hypomanic state also, when the bliss is overflowing, Sometimes the body mind can't contain that bliss. Sometimes it can overflow. And it leads to the love which has no opposite. Love for everything. When you are uninvolved, when you have the eyes of equanimity, either everyone is part of you or no one is part of you. It's the same thing. But because of that, there is a love flowing to everything. Unconditional love, which doesn't ask anything in return. Recognize your true self. Pray to the self. Give all respect and attention to the self. And be the self. First by practice and patience and perseverance. Just paying attention to the pure awareness within. There is no name for it, but it is the ultimate truth. It is the absolute. Whether you call it self, God, Ramana, Brahman, whatever. It is nameless, formless. It is within you and without you. You are in it. Everyone is in it. It has its own vibration. You can know its vibration when you have inner silence. When you are desireless, without any attachments, you can listen to it. You can see it with eyes of wisdom. And to see it is to be it. When it manifests, then everything else disappears. You are that. It is all pervading in all directions to the infinity. It is always the same, never changing. It is always happy. It is what makes things alive. It is also present in things which looks dead. Things which look dead are alive in their own way. You are that. Even if you can't recognize it, even if you don't agree what I'm saying, truth prevails. You are that. Right now we are in the cage of this body-mind complex. In spite of living in this cage, we can be free. Because this cage is in us, we are not in the cage. We are pure awareness. Larger than the largest, subtler than the subtlest. Nothing can bind us. Nothing. We are beyond mind. We are beyond body. We are everything. Remember this truth and be free forever. Enough of playing this drama and thinking that it is real. Enough of births and deaths. We have passed thousands and millions of years, who knows? And when this game is going to end? Only when you want it to end. Only when you identify yourself with pure self. Only when you think it's enough of drama, enough of living in this illusion, and you're fed up with this world and you want to look beyond the world, then this will start ending. Play will come to a halt, but you have to push the button. You have to look within. Be the witness. If you have learned any concepts about religions and things, leave all them aside. They can help you only to a certain extent. The last dive you have to take alone. You are alone. You have to give up all supports. All the supports will take you only up to this spot from where you have to take this jump. Jump into eternity. jump outside the time and space dimension. Transcending the mind, the body. And nothing to worry about taking this jump. People who are on the other side have always told good about this place, about the bliss. No harm in taking this jump. Moving from the finite dimension of the body form to the infinite formless awareness. Why everyone is seeking happiness? Because somewhere in subconscious level, we know that we have missed happiness, though we don't know how. And then we are born with this body-mind complex, which only looks externally, and we are looking for happiness outside. We are happiness. Happiness is our true nature. Turn your mind inward. Pay attention to the pure self. Be aware of the awareness and nothing else. Whatever happens around you, even if the whole world dislikes you, pay attention to the awareness. Aware only of the awareness. You are pure awareness. Abide in your pure silence. You are pure silence. You are a witness without the body, without the mind. You are just pure witness, a formless entity which is not dependent on anything of this world. Only this body is dependent on food and water and air. Awareness can survive without anything. Recognize this intelligence principle within you. The easiest way to recognize yourself is to recognize the silence. And also knowing that whatever you know is not you. Abide in your pure silence. When you're not dealing with anyone, sitting in solitude, then you are nothing but this formless awareness. Nirgun Brahman, the one without attributes, the purest of pure, blissful self, untainted, uninvolved, innocent like a child, ever fresh, without any motive. Who else is that except you? When you interact in this world, Sagun Brahman, take the attributes of the body-mind. Can you forget this Nirgun Brahman? Can you forget that you are awareness only? Action is not against this knowledge. Do the action without ego, without doership. Nobody can stop actions. Nobody can sit in solitude forever. Do the actions, or I should say, just watch the actions. You are a pure witness. Body will do the right actions as required. Constant chattering of the mind will drop, and the mind will do what is required. The mind which looked like a monster shies away, becomes your slave, your servant, when you are as pure as witness. When you abide in your awareness, be in this state which is achievable by anyone and everyone. With some practice, you can recognize this self. And sooner you can recognize and stabilize yourself in this state, pure awareness, unmoving, still, happy, contented, blissful. You are that. Self-realization is the biggest service to the mankind. A being in self-realization, not doing any actions, is still doing a lot of good actions. He or she becomes the source of pure energy, flowing from every pore of the body. He or she becomes the transmitter or the powerhouse of that energy. Which other seekers can recognize and can light up their own flame of pure awareness. And slowly it becomes a conscious circle of enlightened beings who all radiates the pure energy of pure awareness. This is not bound by any religion, any dogmas, beliefs or concepts. Readily available to anyone and everyone who inquires within. And you don't have to wait to know it. It is present all the time. Present everywhere. You can get it wherever you are and in whatever situation you are. Without moving an inch. Without waiting for anything. You are that. You are that wire of knowledge. Pay attention to this wire. Don't pay attention to any thought, any emotion, any desire. Pay attention to this pure fire. When you take the support of this fire of knowledge, it burns away everything what is untrue. Once known your true self, being aware of awareness, you don't have to do anything else. It will do everything for you. Whatever belief you come from, religion or not religion, whatever most respected, revered, pure you think, bring that thing into your heart and know the purest of pure is your own self. You are purest of pure. Respect yourself. Be the devotee of your own self. Give all love and support to yourself. Rather than paying attention to the worldly things, pay attention to the self, to the source. Rather than pleasing people in the world, try to please yourself. Do whatever you can do to get its grace. And I'll tell you, whatever practice you do, at the end it is only the grace. And to win that grace, pay attention within. and you will receive the grace. What a paradox! You receive your own grace when you look within. Even the external grace which you feel is coming externally is the same self talking to you, trying to help you to know your inner self. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.